everybody. How's everybody doing this Thanksgiving weekend? I was thinking about a couple videos I saw a couple of days ago about the different kinds of handguns for the right price and the right time and place, basically for the right use. And there are different types of handguns that I would recommend, and I recommend any gun for self-defense, period. From a 22 revolver that might be able to shoot 22 short and 22 long rifle, all the way up to a big bore hand cannon from a 44 Magnum and up, all the way to the 460s. And I was thinking about all these online scams that do exist where they basically show one, let's say on another venue that you frequent, like a social site, and it's really cheap, and then you go there and it's basically sold out already. Okay? I've seen that every single time I've perused gun prices, which is almost twice to three times a week, where I go to a site and I look and, I call them the next day to do the deal over the phone, and they don't have it. It happens all the time. Okay? So really scout out online, guys, the different stores that sell the same product. Literally with a lot of rebuilt guns, or used guns that might have been rebuilt, had extra parts put on their aftermarket, could be basically as strong and dependable as a brand new gun in the same nomenclature, in the same caliber. Okay? I would rather a new person buy any handgun than singling out any specific handgun that you just have to get. Now, I said before in another video, the Girsan 9mm I liked because it was a basic package. Okay, it was good enough to be a service weapon, 3 magazines, 15 round capacity, and it works fairly good. I just did not like the trigger like I like my Sig Sauer 320, full size 17+1, 9mm. So I recommend a lot of guns when it's a great value, but I wouldn't say that specifically you needed to get it for straight up self-defense, because any gun can be used for self-defense. Any gun can be used to hunt, literally. Any gun can be used to plink and have a good time. It just so happens, talking about the cheap guns on one side of the coin, I bought an RG-14 and an RG-10, which are old Rome, that's the name of them, Rome 22s that were basically like pot metal, thrown together out of Germany. And one was a 22 long rifle that shoots 22 short, specifically, and it was single action and really cheap. But I lucked out because for an $80 gun, it works. I've never had any kind of blowback between the cylinder burning my hand. And literally, if I had to use that in close combat, like inside a house, where I have direct line of sight to them, I feel confident I could defend my family with that because it works every single time. Now, knock on wood, maybe after practicing with it in another 20 years and putting another probably 2,000 rounds through it at least, because I don't shoot it all the time, it may break down sooner because it's basically a 35-year-old gun right now. So I take that into account. I clean it every time I use it. I put it up in its place where it stays, and it stays clean. No dust gets on it. And I'm just in love with the archaic value of that gun, because I've seen him before as a police officer on the streets, and all the hucklebucks had at least something like that, and they considered themselves strapped. Well, I wouldn't have a huge open air gun battle with the sucker, but if someone was shooting at me from a good distance, maybe across the street, maybe I'd pull that out to put some rounds on him and make my escape. Every handgun, even a Derringer single action one shot 22 short, the lowest rung of any firearm you can think of, except for maybe a black powder Derringer, has use and can be used to save your life. It could be used to go hunting. It could be used for everyday fun at an approved range or on private property when you use it correctly. So, we're in the Christmas season, and I love you guys, and I love talking about handguns. I don't have all the videos and stuff like that, video equipment and stuff, to show you all my handguns. I would love to show you guys, if I had a partner, I would, a video man or a cameraman, whatever you want to call them, to do more professional videos. You'd be amazed at the concepts of guns once you know the capability of the guns, what they can do, for what reason, and their purpose. All guns' purpose should be utilitarian, meaning it has many uses. Okay. The Girsan Zenith 28, I think it is, I got because it was zombie green, and it was the most solid gun I've ever handled. It still is, but I don't like the trigger. Okay. Then I look at gems like my SIG 320. I bit the bullet, and at a pawn shop, it was used in secondhand, but it was almost brand new condition. And it had 17 round magazine. I got to pay it off in 3 or 4 payments over a 2-month period. It didn't break my bank, and it was used for $429. So, doing that and looking at the modular trigger that can come out, and it can be placed in any other SIG 320, whether it's a 40 Smith & Wesson, 45 I think they have, and the different modular grips might have a smaller grip you can put it in and what have you. When I look at that and I'm sitting there, basically all the uses I can have for that handgun and the trigger be the only thing I need, I like that. But I want a full-size 17+1 9mm. Okay? I want at least 17+1 against any military op force, against any kind of corrupt cop that might be opening and leveling down on me. And I hope that never happens. Man, I love the cops. I love honest cops. Okay? But any kind of strategic professional force, I want at least 17+1, 2 extra magazines on my hip of 17, and then 1 extra 17-round magazine. To me, that is a good carrying amount of firepower to get to my truck gun or to get to my rifles in my house. So that's on the high end. I don't want a Glock again. I've had a Glock for 20 years. I've had a Glock for so long, and they last. But they're not the only guns that last forever. The SIGs will last a good 25 years of constant use. Probably close to 70,000 rounds use. Like the Glock. Okay? Like the Glock. I'm not disparaging anybody that likes the Glock. But it's a status symbol that's still overpriced. A used Glock that maybe is 15 years old, you telling me it still costs $500? No. And back to what I was saying about warning people. I want all people to go out this Christmas and buy a handgun just for themselves. Okay? If you're into guns, buy a handgun for your next best friend then. So we spread gun knowledge to other people and empower them to be free. Okay? But that's another thing. The elites, I don't want to say the elites per se, but a lot of gun snobs that like Glocks, when they want to get rid of it, unless it's a best friend for a cheap amount of money, like a quick exchange between two people, I'll give you my old Glock because I need $250 or $300. You sell any Glock online, that seller is actually trying to sell it for its original value, or about $50 less. Its original value is across the board $550 to $650. And they're selling it for $500, and they've had it for over 15, 20 years. That's insane, okay? When I can get a relatively new or used Sig Sauer 320 full-size semi-automatic pistol, and they have lots of magazines for the Sig 320. Excuse me, guys. And I can have a service weapon and walk on any police department and feel safe. I have protection literally within 50 yards. Okay, with a Sig Sauer full-size 320 9mm. Okay. So, you know that saying, wherever you go, there you are? Okay. Whatever gun you get for Christmas, or you get yourself at any time, practice that gun, know its limitations, know what it can do to protect you at the very most and to plink at the very least. Okay? Any gun can save your ass and save your bacon in a heartbeat if you know its capabilities. I know that. Drug boys have always known that on the street. You know, there's been a lot of drug boys with cheap handguns that were killed, but it doesn't mean it was because of that bad gun. It means that someone else got the draw on them quicker. Okay? Aspire to get a good high-powered handgun that you can shoot many times and get many rounds on target. Okay? Something you can shoot a target and get, bullseyed 3 bullets in a row out of 3 shots at about 15 to 25 yards. Okay? That's ideal. Then, get to know that gun, see how the trigger is. Do you want to do any upgrades? I am a snob. I don't want to do any upgrades to any handgun. I want to know its capabilities and use it if I need it and not use it if I don't want to. Okay? That gun should be like your car going to work. The first day you get into it, it should be fairly easy to drive. And then when you go to work, after, a couple of days, you know everything that car can do on the straightaways, in town, and city traffic. And it gets you to work immediately, efficiently, and it's comfortable when you ride it. That's how any gun should feel. Mind you, there's some Hondas out there, okay, beat up Hondas, like the RGs, okay, but they still run, they still serve a purpose, and they can still get you to where you want to go, especially under the right circumstances, when it's the only thing you have to go, okay? If I was to warn anybody about handguns not to get, literally, for self-defense, if that's the baseline, personal self-defense, home defense, for your family, I think all guns can save your family. If you know the basics of your handgun and you know what its capabilities are. If I had to warn anybody about anything, it would be about single action derringers where you pull back the hammer and then you fire. You can't fire otherwise. So you have basically 2 rounds inside your derringer. Okay? I liked the Cobra derringers and the multi-large bore capabilities they have, like 9mm that has another bore with a 38 when you buy the Cobra. If you buy a 38 Cobra, the ones I've seen, I bought them twice that had a 9mm bore also. So you'd have either 9mm 2 rounds or 38 2 rounds. That may be enough to ward off some people, but in an actual street fight and gun battle, I would be very concerned about anybody using that because the bullets are not the strongest coming out of that 2-inch barrel. And if you're going to go up and pick a fight with someone, you might be on the losing end in terms of its speed and capability. When you pull it out, you pull the hammer, and you use it. What I've noticed with my 38 Derringer, Cobra 38 9mm, basically when I shot 38 special through my Derringer 2 shots, and then I tried the 9mm 2 shots, the rounds were so slow that I couldn't find them on the target at about 20 yards. So, you're basically bringing possibly a knife to a gunfight. Okay. Now, are they nice to have in plink, at about 15 yards? Yes, very much so. So it's basically in the eye of the beholder. I know that they work, but because of speed and withdrawal and how you would cock it, even the kick is a little different and a little odd and a little more hard on the hands. So it has so many detriments to it if you use it. Okay. So be safe if you buy those. Those are nice and ornamental. I bought them for friends, and they've used it just plinking and loved it. And heck, it could save you when you have nothing else. You never know. But I would warn against those Derringers. You have 2 shots, and they're both single action. At the very most, I would warn, don't make those your home defense for your own safety, for your own survival. Okay? They might work in a pinch, but you never know. You never know. And I think they're more ornamental. They're more for plinking and having fun. They are enjoyable to shoot. I love all handguns, even those cheap Derringers. But you have to be safe and you have to be practical when you buy them. So, go online to find the best deals. Take that phone number from the online site and you call them directly. Haggle all prices. Especially when they want your business, especially when you tell them, oh, well, I was looking at your site. Well, what's a product code? I don't know, but it was this weapon. They want a product code or they want some kind of a number or something so they can give you a discount. And don't feel bad. Just tell them, no, this is how I found it. Let them know that you're researching their company and you're very happy to look at that handgun or that rifle. And you tell them, I want a discount. 9 times out of 10, they'll give you a discount because they want your service. They want your business. Unfortunately, I've done that all the time with a lot of different companies, but the majority of the companies don't continuously have the same deals week to week or a different product week to week. Okay, it's far and few in between. So look for that good deal, take the phone number down, call them up, speak to them directly, do the deal over the phone, have them send that to your gun store, your local gun store or FFL local gun store, and get guns cheaply. Arm up, procreate often, guys. That's not rocket science. Look at Slick Guns. Look at Bud's Gun Shop. Look at Target USA. Look at Cabela's. Look at online at Guns America. A through Z in the buying section. Look for all the handguns you think you like. Research them, then call the person who's selling them. Don't do an online contract per se. Okay? That might tie up your credit card for a couple days, and you don't know if it went through or not. You don't know if it's going to be sent to your FFL or not. Call them up directly. Try to get the best deal you can, and you'll find they'll waive shipping sometimes. Most of the time, they'll waive shipping because they want your business. Okay? All right, guys, have a great night. Take care. Love you.